should be live in a minute. Hey, Special Chronicles friends. Hopefully we're live. Oh, I should, sorry about that, folks. Oh. Sorry about that, folks. You were watching the ceiling. You should be able to watch us. We code live from our living room. And here we go. So I've got the mixer. Everything is here. I hope I don't get any phone calls during the show. And here we go. Ready?
All set, Daniel.
Okay. So this is actually, I just want to take a picture in the studio because this is kind of a cool setup. Where's the selfie mode? That's not what I wanted. Okay, ready? Oh, wait, where are you? Ready? It was kind of blowy. Okay. Okay. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and hit record. This is episode 368, Compassion in the Time of Social Distancing. I'm going to go to mute us. In 3, 2, 1.
This episode is brought to you by listeners like you. Please support this podcast at specialchronicles.com/give. That's specialchronicles.com/give.
This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
Podcasting since 2008. This is the show where we're broadcasting disability stories from an insider's perspective, and we are giving a voice to people with special needs. This is your weekly guide to find and joy, acceptance, and inclusion.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. I lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try, it's time we care, it's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
Coming up on the Special Chronicles show, episode 368, Compassion in the Time of Social Distancing. We're live from our living room, talking all about this article. This conversation is based on a Medium article, Compassion and Connection in the Age of COVID-19 by Kim Samuel. And also coming up in the second segment of the program today, the Special Chronicles response to coronavirus or COVID-19. Welcome back to the Special Chronicles show. My name is Daniel from SpecialChronicles.com and a Sun Tribal International Global Messenger with Special Olympics, and joining me, co-hosting live from our living room, from the living room of Special Chronicles, is our business manager and board member for Special Chronicles, aka my dad. Welcome back to Special Chronicles, Adam.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our living room. We're following all the safe rules and not going out, but we have a lot of good things we'd like to talk about. And as we are practicing the stay-at-home order from the government and social distancing, hence, if you are watching the live stream, those of you guys listen to the audio podcast can't tell, but if you watch the live stream, we're live streaming this on Facebook.com/Special Chronicles and Facebook.com/Daniel Smrokowski on both pages, and we'll put it up on the YouTube later. But we are social distancing, right? We're 6 feet apart. Yeah, I think we're probably a little more than that, which is good. We're just the right amount.
And with that, so in the first segment, we both read an article on Medium that our friends at Special Olympics tweeted earlier this week, titled Compassion and Connection in the Age of COVID-19 by Kim Samuel. So we'll talk about that in the first segment, and then coming up after the break in segment 2 is the Special Chronicles response to coronavirus COVID-19. So you do not want to miss this exciting episode. And we're going to kick things off with this article this piece that we both read. I read, and then I emailed and texted it to you, titled "Compassion and Connection in the Age of COVID-19" by Kim Samuel on Medium.com, and two particular quotes that stand out, and then we'll we'll use that to kick off the conversation. And we'll put a link in the show notes on specialchronicles.com/podcast368 if you want to listen, if you want to read this for yourself. And we'll tweet this out and share the link on our Facebook page as well to the full story. But two quotes says, one quote says, "My hope is that we're on the verge of a great awakening in empathy, a planetary rethink when it comes to what we mutually value," end quote. And the second quote is, quote, "Yet this pandemic can also be something different, an opportunity to construct a world in which people feel that they belong, an opportunity to pinpoint areas of our societies that have been neglected and construct a healthier social fabric. May this moment be the wake-up call we need to build a world of belonging," end quote. And those are two powerful quotes that we're going to kick off this conversation with for the first segment. And when you read this article, Dad, what was your initial thoughts to reading this article, and in particular those two quotes?
Well, I think it was just a very well-written article based on today's time. The challenges that we have because of the epidemic and economic byproducts of that, both are affecting the lives of everybody. And to begin with, I think what it did is made me think about my own values, my life, what's important. I think we start, in order to, at least in my mind, in order to look at the world and maybe how we can build a world where everybody belongs, I kind of started with my own thoughts. So I looked at my life, my personal life, my family, my friends, my faith, and then thought about the world. And I realized that today, one of the things that's always been important to me is caring, compassion, respect of other people, and doing something good in the world, where maybe you can help somebody else with something, help people live better, help people that need some help, and those are all some of the basic values that I've always had. And this this situation that we're in right now, just kind of reinforces all of that. At Special Chronicles, we've always talked about respect and giving voice to people with all abilities, and that is so true on a whole global scale now. I think it's so important to give voice and respect and incorporate everybody and try to understand everybody as human beings, to no matter what part of their life they're at, where they live, their cultural backgrounds, their religious backgrounds, their professional backgrounds, or whatever else is a part of their life. We need to maybe stop being critical and maybe take a moment to look and understand. And that should have been no different than it's ever been in the past, except today it's so evident. And we have to be there for everybody. And those are some of the values that I've had before, and those are the values that make it so much stronger going forward. We're adding things like social distancing because we want to be healthy and not spread the virus, and hopefully contain it at some point. I know the governor of our state in Illinois is just doing a remarkable job of trying to do that. But it's not easy, and he's made it very clear that it takes all of us which is going back to what we're talking about, building a world where everybody belongs. And no matter where you live in the world, we're all in this together. And I think that that's important.
Yeah.
And my hope, just to close on this before I turn over to Daniel, is my hope that we get through this quickly and we all stay healthy physically, spiritually, economically, and that we don't let this, hopefully we all learn something from this, no matter what it is. And going forward, we truly do figure out how to build a world where everybody can belong all around the world. And that's my hope. And I've talked to a lot of my friends and people I talk to in general, all kind of seem to say the same thing in their own worlds. We need to be all closer together and figure out how to help each other. We're one big globe. We're not just a bunch of individuals or a bunch of countries or, different groups, whatever it might be. We really need to be helping everybody and include everybody. So my hope is that once we get past this, and I do hope that happens at a reasonable time. I know we got a little way to go. We got to keep practicing the social distancing. Otherwise, this thing won't go away. But at some point, we'll contain it and be past this. But then we start a new life. Somebody told me that when we get past this, we can go back to our normal life. I'm not sure if I agree with that. I think when this is all past, we got to go build a better life, a different life. I don't think anything will be the same, and I don't think it should be the same. I think it's up to us to make it better.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a couple of things that you touched, well, kind of jumping off of what you said there, is one thing is, I think what this global pandemic and coronavirus or COVID-19 can really teach us and teach everybody is that we are all human. And I know that's a big lesson, that's a big message that we try to, through all digital media programs at Special Chronicles, that we try to teach all audience, all listeners, all viewers, all readers. It's also something through the sport education and health and leadership program of Special Olympics International. That's something that they also teach, is that we are all human, that we all are the same and different, but that we're all human, and that we all have the same human rights, we all have the same human needs. And I think that is something that this global pandemic, that this, in a century in history, that this social distancing, this global pandemic, this coronavirus, COVID-19, can really teach all of us. What, based on that, which was jumping off of what you said, but based on that, what, any comments based on that?
No, I think, Daniel, we're both saying the same thing, and I hope we're sharing this message to everybody listening. And our hopes is that it makes everybody think a little bit, maybe about their own values, and maybe about where they were and where we like to be, and what they can contribute in the world to make it better. But, so that's what I hope this little session does, is makes everybody think.
Yeah, this episode, this podcast episode, but tying, it's still related to this article, but going back to this medium out, this article, and we probably should have printed it out so we would have it physically in front of us, or at least on an iPad screen or something. But this article titled "Compassion and Connection in the Age of COVID-19" by Kim Samuel, this piece on Medium, that in particular those two quotes I read at the beginning of the program, or just anything overall. Any thoughts on either of these two quotes, or any other lines and quotes from this, or just any other comments tying it back to this article that we both read on Medium?
Well, the article is. I hope you get a chance to read it because it is very good. It goes much more in depth than what Daniel, the two quotes, in elaborating on those quotes. It also talks about compassion a lot, compassion for the health of everybody, and how we need to cultivate more compassion in our lives, both in society and our economy and our daily life. And that's kind of, they're comparing it versus, let's say, the economy, for example. They're comparing it to our current economy, which is very focused on growth at all cost, and how that affects people's lives, the healthcare system, our society. And we're saying maybe we need to rethink that and cultivate compassion in our economy and in our society. And that's one of the things that struck me very strongly, because I believe in that. We need to be healthy, but when you also look around with thousands of people losing their jobs and not being able to, potentially not being able to survive, and that's scary also. I know we need to get healthy and get past this virus portion, but people are getting worried and sick, and that's not helping their health either. So I think that that was another big part of the article that she talked about in some of her points of view.
Just kind of going off that, since we all live streaming this on our Facebook live stream on our Special Chronicles Facebook live stream, as well as my page as well. But we do have a few people watching us. The podcast will be up the second week of May 2020. But can I read a comment from a listener based on this? So somebody actually, a longtime friend of ours, longtime listener, Carol, I don't know how to pronounce.
Wojciech.
Carol
Wojciech.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you even without looking at the comment, you know. Anyways, so Carol says, social distancing gives us a little space and time with our own thoughts, a good time of taking an inventory of your blessings and list ways we ourselves can make life a little better or happier for others. Great comment.
That's a great comment, Carol. Thank you for sharing that with us. You're right on the mark.
And yeah, so again, just for I did share the article in the comments of this live stream. But yeah, going back to the comments of this piece. Let me see if I can pull it up, because I did pull it up on the phone here. So there's another. So the quote: "We haven't yet created a world in which everyone belongs." And above that, in this Medium piece, the effects of this crisis are amplified because of our disconnection. Because despite our talk of interconnectedness, our world has great divides. Again, this comes from this Medium article, "Compassion and Connection in the Age of COVID-19" by Kim Samuel on Medium.com. So of that, I think that, that's a big message that we try to tell, that there's so many of us with special needs, so many of us with intellectual disabilities, and even other people too, but in particular to our audience here, for those of us with disabilities, there's so much that of disconnection, and I think again what this hopefully what this COVID-19 can really teach us, and it goes on here, is that hope that it can build, and I agree with this. This article says that with COVID-19, because we haven't yet built a culture of belonging And by cultural belonging, meaning this author says it's a global culture in which every person plays a part, and in which the society as a whole values and supports each part that is played. So, again, I think that this article has the author of this article shows a lot of the same values that we share, and that all of our friends at Special Olympics also share as well.
Yeah, that's very true. So, to elaborate a little more about that, she in the article talks about everything we just talked about. She also starts talking about, well, how do we go in the future, which starts today, because how we think about everything that's going on, how we act today is our future. And one of the things that and I'm going to try to paraphrase here, what she said in there is that going forward in the future, we have to build our society, our economy, our politics, and everything else in the world should be based on principles of belonging, that when we face crises, we can better equip and handle them together. And, that's what she said. And I truly believe in that. And I know that at Special Chronicles, we've always talked about respect and voice to people with all abilities. And I think what she is saying is something that it's not just for somebody with a specific ability, but it's for everybody in the world. Yeah. And I think we need to start thinking that way. I have good friends on various parts of the world, from Europe to Asia countries to the United States and North and South America. And I try to stay in touch with them during times like this. So we communicate, and we keep great social distance, since all these friends are thousands of miles away, but with technology and we can do that and have some good conversations on that. But it all leads to what I just talked about. And I think when I look at compassion, and to me, it incorporates several things. And, to have a kinder understanding and respect for people. It starts with compassion, unconditional love, respect, joy, acceptance, inclusion of all people of all abilities in every part of the world. And I think that that voice and that respect and that caring and understanding has to start with each of us today. Because otherwise, I'm not sure if just getting through the virus is enough. We need to, as a world, together get through this virus situation, and that's what people like our governor in Illinois is doing, and so many others, governors all around the country, and I'm sure many other countries are, also trying to do the same things. So everybody's focused on trying to get a cure or get past this this epidemic, this virus. So not as many people are getting the virus, and they able to get the people that got it to be healthy and hopefully save a lot of lives. And that's a huge priority, but we all got to do our part in it. Social distancing is a very important part of that. And, but in the same token, we need to have compassion for the future. And I know I do it in my own little way by talking to all the people that I know in various parts of the world. First of all, I talk to see what their thoughts are, but primarily I should call them just to see whether they're okay, whether they're healthy and their families are healthy. And that usually, after some talks about that, then it usually leads to these type of discussions, which just 100% convinces me that the future starts today, and it starts with each of us.
Yeah. I just want to read another comment from a listener. Is that okay? From a viewer, from a live viewer. Once again, we're live streaming this on our Facebook Live page on Special Chronicles, facebook.com/Special Chronicles. And this comes from actually somebody that I think a listener and live viewer who related to my aunt, one of your sisters in Chicago, Eva. And she says, great messages in this critical time of our lives. We are in this. Sorry, I just lost it. We are. Okay, so Eva says, great messages in this critical time of our lives. We are in this together. We must do what we can to help each other in any way we can. Stay strong and well.
Thank you, Eva. That's you're right on the mark, and I appreciate those comments. It's actually those comments from my sister Eva and Carol and
more viewers.
And more viewers. Daniel is saying that we're getting a whole list of viewers coming in with comments and listening, and that's kind of what we're talking about. It's all of us together.
Yeah,
and it's so important. I mean, it was always important, but in a critical time like this, it makes us really think that it makes us think about who we are, makes us think about the future, and it makes us think about all of us in the whole world as one.
And it kind of like, I think on there's a bunch of media that reported on this story. I mean, I should say all the media reported on it. But for example, one of the media outlets that we've been watching for the past I want to say at least the past month, on a regular, like I feel like more than we usually usually we just watch it at night, right? Like, when we have dinner and stuff, but usually, even during the day too, in the morning and during the day. But on ABC 7, they're using the hashtag in this together. And I think even the governor of Illinois says that they launched a new website or a new campaign that Illinois is in this or in for Illinois, but in particular, based on what you said, ABC 7 has this campaign with the hashtag in this together. And I think more and more people, like, we're not the first ones to say that we're in this together. But it's those three simple words, in this together, is powerful, because your listener and viewer comments, in this conversation that we're having on air today on this episode of the Special Chronicles show, episode 368, it shows that we are in this together. We are staying healthy. We are staying safe. We are choosing to include. We are showing compassion. We are showing kindness. We are in this together. And I think that and even United Airlines, even they started a new campaign around this as well, saying that we're united together. And I think that fits in with what we just said. How we are in this together. We are united together. We're all human. We're all kind of in this. We're all in this together. We've got about 3 more minutes before we're at the half-hour mark.
Well, that's great.
For this full segment.
We're trying to stay on time, respecting everybody's time, which is something that's hard to do because we get carried away with our thoughts
on this important topic.
On very important topics, no matter what show we're doing. But anyway, in closing, and I think what Daniel is saying is so right, we're in this together. We talk about examples, maybe here in Illinois, what our governor is doing, but that's happening everywhere, not just in Illinois. We happen to live here, so it's easier to make specific comments on that. But my conversations in friends with different parts of the country, the same thing is happening. People are doing the same thing, and countries in Europe that people I've talked to, it's amazing. It's like when you listen to them, they're saying exactly the same thing. In Asia, and they're doing the same thing. So we truly are in this together, which lets me, I want to close off my thoughts.
For this segment?
Can I, Daniel?
Yeah.
Okay, going back to what we started, one of the quotes was, build a world where everybody belongs. That's what we're talking about, and that's what we all have to do. And that's our future. Thank you.
And to close, can I close off now for this full segment? And I want to close off saying two things based on this article and based on the conversation that's based on this article and for this full segment, is that our hope is that this global pandemic that is really going to show empathy, and that it's a wake-up call, full empathy, and a world where every human belongs.
Very well put.
And with that, we're going to take a short break, a short sponsor and PSA break. You are listening to the Special Chronicles show on specialchronicles.com, episode 368, Compassion in the Time of Social Distancing. So we'll be right back. Don't go away. Don't hit pause. We'll be back talking all about the Special Chronicles response to coronavirus COVID-19. Please don't hit pause. We'll be right back after this short break, right here on specialchronicles.com.
This episode is brought to you by
The ComEd Energy Force Ambassador Program. The Energy Force is the country's first energy efficiency education program designed for and taught by people with disabilities. ComEd is powering lives, and Radio is powering us here at Special Chronicles. Learn more at specialchronicles.com/ComEd. That's specialchronicles.com/ComEd. We thank ComEd for the generous support of Special Chronicles.
This episode is brought to you by listeners like you. Please support this podcast at specialchronicles.com/give. That's specialchronicles.com/give.
We're not just athletes.
We are the ambassadors of an uprising.
Peaceful protesters.
In a rebellion against anyone
who has a fear of difference.
Difference.
Our demands are
equality,
dignity, and the recognition of our shared humanity.
We will not stop
or accept anything less.
Today, our world is
more divided than ever.
And coming together has never been more urgent.
The revolution
is inclusion.
Find out more at jointherevolution.org.
COVID-19, better known as coronavirus, has spread throughout the world. Information about children with this disease is limited, but they are known to have had mild symptoms. Many organizations are responding accordingly depending upon their area. It's best to stay home and away from others, especially when sick, and continue following healthy hand wash guidelines, covering mouth and nose and not touching your face or high-touch surfaces. Clean and disinfect high-touch surfaces regularly, and for more information, please visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. Thank you.
You are listening to the Special Chronicles show. This is episode 368, Compassion in the Time of Social Distancing. We are live streaming this episode on Facebook Live, facebook.com/Special Chronicles, but the audio podcast can be found on specialchronicles.com/listen, or wherever you podcasts are heard. And this segment two, this is segment two, and during that break, that you will whispering something to me that we want to make sure that all of you listeners know about this excellent company. Actually, if people are watching the Facebook live stream, I am doing a product placement on my water cup here. I don't know if our viewers can see, but it's the logo for United. And speaking of United, we just want to say, as a employee, as one of the original UA4, one of the original Special Olympics athletes working as service ambassadors at United Airlines at O'Hare International Airport in Chicago, I just want to say that United is, as a company, as a global company, is as a leading airline, is really united together. United is really showing compassion, and really United is showing that they are safe, caring, dependable, and efficient now more than ever in this global pandemic. That you want to say a few words about United?
Yes, just a little bit. I just, this is going back to where I think it's takes all of us all around the world, and United is an example of that. Of course, they're one of the major airlines in the world, and the airlines are probably economically hit as hard as anybody out there. I think, I don't know what percentages of their flights are actually flying, or
20% of the seats are being filled.
And that's changing to the downside every day. And but through the time that Daniel was Special Olympics has had a chance to become part of United.
5 months now.
And that was back when, it's hard to believe that only 5 months ago the world was really strong, and this virus didn't exist. Well, at that time, United showed the compassion how it can. We should all work together, people of different abilities, and put together a program to include people from Special Olympics and athletes. And that was very impressive, and complete inclusion. And during that process, I got a chance to meet some of the senior executives, and they're an amazing group of people, and they really do have compassion, and they care, and they cared back when things were good, and now when things they're really hard economically, and they still have the same compassion. They're trying to every day figure out how to make it work. And there was an article in this morning that I read about. It said that United's going to have to pull back some of the flights, or at least the next couple of weeks or so, to New York because of the situation there. And I forget which executive was quoted, but he said, "Well, we have to do that right now, but every employee out there is going to get paid, even though if we ask them to stay home with their full pay and benefits." And that to me was just a confirmation of what I've learned so strongly about United. And I know it's not easy for them.
Yeah.
It's so many other companies are going through that experience. But when you lose 80% of your business in a matter of a month or two, it's mind-boggling. Me being a business person, I understand that, and but that's going back to we shouldn't lose the compassion. It's about all of us, our society, and all the people. This is what all this is about. It's not about the pure economic bottom line. Even though I know for United it's an unbelievable challenge to make this work. And so we from Special Chronicles, and I know Daniel and myself, just say thank you. And
just one last thing on United, I just want to say, Oscar, who's the current CEO, at least for the next month until he steps down, and Scott, who's the president of United Airlines, who will become the CEO started in May. They are both taking a pay cut, I believe, when all this is happening. So it doesn't happen a lot for a lot of CEOs and presidents of big companies, but I think that says a lot, right?
Yeah, they're a good role model, and that's what we all as individuals should be. We should all be role models for the rest of the world. We should all, be compassionate and reach out. Just because of social distance, rules are in place to try to stop the virus, doesn't mean we can't reach out, and we should.
Yeah, and I just want to read one more comment before we get on to the main topic for our second segment of the program today. This comes from Carol, and I believe out of all of our viewers, we only have two main people commenting, but so Carol says, the golden rule applies today as it has my whole life. Do others as you would want others to do into you. Check on your family, friends, or elderly neighbors that might be alone. Give them a call or video call or a socially distanced drive-by visit like my son's family did yesterday and drop some books off on my porch. Stuff like that. Nothing fancy. Just simple things mean a lot.
Yeah, very true. Simple things like calling your friends and family or somebody you haven't talked to for a while and just see how they're doing in this challenging time. First of all, that's reaching out. It also puts a smile on their face. I know when I get a call from somebody I haven't talked to in a while, and they just say, "Well, how you doing?" and it makes me smile because there are a lot of nice people out in the world, and we all can be that way.
So speaking of that, we're now getting into the Special Chronicles response to COVID-19 or coronavirus. And we'll begin by just briefly sharing our initial thoughts on first hearing about a month ago, or maybe about half, I would say about half a month ago, just a few weeks ago, the World Health Organization declared a global pandemic and news on the COVID-19 coronavirus. Just some initial thoughts. I know when I first heard about it, I wasn't exactly sure what this was all about, but then when you start hearing more of the news stories and more, it was getting to be more real. And now that we're really a month into this, it's getting to be more real. We're 2 weeks into the whole stay-at-home thing, and now we've got another month of the whole social distancing. If not, that could change another week or two, or another day or two, or another hour or two. But what were some of your initial thoughts on first hearing about when the World Health Organization declared a global pandemic and news on this COVID-19 coronavirus? Because this is probably the biggest crisis, biggest global pandemic in a century, if not history at all.
When I first heard about it, again, it was just a few weeks ago. Everything moves so fast every day that I think it's been months, and in reality, it's only been a few weeks. But I was having some conversations with some colleagues and on the phone through actually various parts of the world. We had on this conversation, we had people from different parts of the world. And one person, I think it was from Asia somewhere, but they said, well, the World Health Organization just announced that it's a global pandemic. And I paused, and I know what the word pandemic means, or by definition, but it kind of made me pause. And I asked the question, well, what does that mean? And everybody on the phone, nobody was able to answer that question. Mm-hmm. Of course, it's evolved a lot since then. We all know very strongly what that means. But that was my first reaction. Like, what does it mean? And, so that was mine.
Yeah. So if your listeners want to share your feedback with us, you can use the hashtag on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, Special Chronicles, or just if you don't want to publicly share it, you can DM us, or email or text us, feedback@specialchronicles.com, feedback@specialchronicles.com, or reach out to us individually. Daniel at Special Chronicles is my email, Adam@SpecialChronicles.com is your email, and you can just reach out to us anytime with your feedback, and we'd love to talk with you, right?
Definitely.
And if you want to FaceTime with us, well, let us know who you are, and we will social distance, use FaceTime or Skype or WhatsApp or whatever video communication there is. So let's go into the next part of this segment and talk about what are we doing among our team at Special Chronicles to prevent the coronavirus, to stay healthy and safe, to encourage you, our audience of listeners, viewers, and readers. Well, one thing I want to say is that we highly recommend all of you to listen to our Complete Health, which is a podcast original mini-series on specialchronicles.com/health, specialchronicles.com/health. We highly recommend. This is produced in partnership with Special Olympics Illinois and Special Olympics health programs, the Healthy Athletes. We highly recommend this to you, our audience, in joining us in using all of our health resources, like the School of Strength, the Fit 5 programs from Special Olympics. But we have all these health resources, in addition to the World Health Organization and the CDC. All these health resources are linked above on our podcast mini-series streaming page. So specialchronicles.com/health, specialchronicles.com/health. You can stream on demand anytime the mini-series, part 0, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then underneath that, we've got a whole list of resources for all of you listening, including video resources as well, and PDFs and guides, and it's definitely, I think, we produced this the past few weeks now, and it'll be up there, and you guys can go listen on demand or stream it anytime you would like. You can even do it when you're exercising or cooking, and as you all stay at home and social distance, you can listen to that. But I think that's one of the main things that we are doing among our team to really encourage you all to stay healthy and safe and to prevent the coronavirus. Is we created this resource, this audio, this original mini-series as an informative and entertaining, but mainly informative resource. That's a big thing that we are doing among our team. But do you want to speak?
Yeah, just a couple of quick things. I'm impressed of how everybody's kind of involved in that. So many people are doing the different things to try to stay healthy. I know Daniel, he's at the airport 3 days a week, and when he comes home, he's over the last couple of weeks, he's right back at his studios producing one of these segments to help everybody. And then on a weekend, he's in the studio for, seems like 12 hours plus, and he's produced so many shows in the last few weeks based on everything that he's talked about. And everybody's involved in it. This is our way of doing things. I just watched a video from Dave Breen, which is the president of Special Olympics Illinois, and he did a exercise video where at their
Tribute Park.
At Tribune Park, which is at the corporate office in Normal, Illinois, there's a memorial park called Tribune Park right in front of the building. And he went out there with Kathy, one of the board members, and his daughter. And the park is kind of a nice size, so they were able to social distance really well. He was kind of in the middle. And
yeah.
He had... each has co-parts there, and they went through a series of basic exercises that you can do at home. The real easy ones, but they make a whole lot of difference. And he asked you to, you can, just they're doing their part and helping you maybe figure out how you can do those same exercises at home yourself. And I thought I was impressed. So that's just another sign of how people out there are trying to help everybody.
Yeah, and those the training I watched it as well. That video that Dave and Kathy and his daughter, I'm blanking his daughter's name, Jenna. I want to say is that his daughter's name. Dave, we apologize if we forgot, but I think that's right. That those exercises that he was doing, and that it's not just the one video, but I think he's going to be doing it each week on Wednesdays. I think.
I believe so.
And
yeah.
so, but those exercises he's doing directly from the School of Strength, which Special Olympics International, they launched this new program last Sunday, so about just a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and they launched it early. So we definitely want to recommend the School of Strength and the Fit 5 programs from Special Olympics.
And I think, just let me add one more thing to it.
Because we've got 10 more minutes of them.
Right. Everybody out there, so many people out there doing their part. When we talk about, we talked in the first segment about building a world where everybody belongs. This is a part of it. Today, this is what's important. And we can't get together and exercise together or hold events or socialize or even say hi and hug our family and friends. We can't do that. But we can do all these other things. And so many people are, and I encourage everybody to either participate in whatever somebody else is doing or start your own.
Start your own,
do your own little thing and share it with all of us.
But definitely join us in the School of Strength.
And we're going to, I'm sure, keep producing more things that are relevant to all of this because everything's changing day by day. This is all as of today, what's relevant. Well, tomorrow, the next day, there may be more things relevant, and Daniel will be really good at putting that together.
And if you want us to do a School of Strength together, then comment and let us know. Before we get into the Special Chronicles response to COVID-19 is, I know, both of us, I would say, will social among, you maybe a little bit more than me, but with talking with people face to face and in person, a lot of in person, like we go to this coffee shop near our house a lot, the fitness club, and on all that, we can't really physically go talk to people. So I know you were just saying a few days ago that's been really hard for you. So, maybe want to touch briefly on that.
Well, that's a good point. I've always enjoyed being around people and talking to people and listening to what's happening in their lives that specific day, whether it's a business conversation or strictly social. I enjoy that. And whether it's at a business event, a Special Olympics event, or just going to a coffee shop. And, I'm known for going to a coffee shop and, I always say hi to the people that there. I walk by with my coffee to go sit down, and I'll probably say hi to 2 or 3 people on the way that are sitting at different tables. Well, none of that's possible now. But that hasn't stopped me. As I said before, I don't think there's a day goes by that I don't talk to some or several people somewhere in the world, whether they call me or I reach out and call them. Mm-hmm. And so the social part is still there, but I miss the personal interaction.
Because
I do miss that.
Yeah, because and I think too that if you could just move the microphone a little bit, in the time of social distancing and technology is great. We'll live stream this right now so your audience can see, but those FaceTime and Skype and Zoom and all these video technology is great, but I think. I'm a big fan of technology. We use technology every day. Our phones, computers, iPads. But there's something, and maybe this is something also that this global pandemic is teaching everybody. technology is great, but I think there's something that, like you said, that personal connection, that physical personal connection that, yes, people have been doing, people love. I mean, that's part of what being human is about. But I think, when we get through this, and we will get through this together, I think people will really come to really appreciate every moment, every second of every day, every moment that people are physically interacting, physically with each other. People will appreciate every moment. Do you think that? I mean, that will change? That people will really appreciate every moment that you are with somebody?
Well, I absolutely. I think in my case, I actually have always appreciated the people
me too.
around, whether I go to a Special Olympics board meeting or a event competition or a business meeting, or like I said, just a coffee shop or the health club. I play racquetball a couple of times a week, so I miss that interaction. And so I think it's always been very good. But there's also a lot in the world where it isn't always that good. There's conflict, and there's people that disagree with each other for whatever reasons. And I think that, and I really hope that all of this will maybe help us be more compassionate and understanding where we go in, and even to the various groups that I talked about when I go back, when we're able to go back, I think maybe we'll even look at everybody with even more compassion than I always have. I know I'm going to smile more. I've always have smiled, but I will.
And show compassion more.
And I'm not going to take anything for granted just because I go to a meeting and everybody's focused on whatever the agenda is. I think I'm going to be more prone to looking around and making sure I smile at everybody and be focused more than just the meeting. Focus on the people that are there.
Yeah. So as we conclude here, and we just want to remind all of you listening that to text in or email your feedback instantly to us anytime, anywhere, to feedback@specialchronicles.com, feedback@specialchronicles.com, onto that address, into your phone, and or just email us. Also, you can join the conversation on social media or on all the social channels at Special Chronicles on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And you can tweet us with the hashtag Special Chronicles to @Special C Podcast. And please make sure to leave us your 5-star ratings and reviews on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Also, this episode is brought to you by listeners like you, generous listeners like you. You can join our supporters and donate today at specialchronicles.com/give. That's specialchronicles.com/give. And this episode is brought to you by the ComEd Energy Force Ambassador Program. The Energy Force is the country's first energy efficiency education program designed for and taught by people with disabilities. ComEd is powering our lives, and radio is powering us here at Special Chronicles. Keep the lights on, keep this technology plugged in so you can hear this powerful, informative, entertaining, inspiring content. We thank ComEd for the generous support of Special Chronicles. Learn more at specialchronicles.com/ComEd. That's specialchronicles.com/ComEd. And any thoughts that you wanted to say about our sponsors or supporters?
Oh no, yes. I can't begin enough to thank everybody who's supported us through the times when we've been growing over the last 11 years to the current times of the very complex situations that we're at. We appreciate all the support and the love that we get from everybody, and we respect you for that, and hopefully they'll continue forever, and would love to have everybody's support moving forward, and we'll all get through this together and keep recording more and more of things that are important to everybody. Thank you.
So I wrote down what the as the founder, what the Special Chronicles response to COVID-19 is. But before I actually tell you, our listeners, that, just in your own words, not in my words, but in your own words, what's the Special Chronicles response in your words as a business manager, as a board member? What in your own words, and then I'll get into my words or all words together. But
well,
just in your own words.
Yeah, I think Special Chronicles, what I don't want to forget and downplay is that Special Chronicles, our vision has always been to give respect and voice to people with special needs. And now it's gone to giving voice and respect to the people of all abilities. Mm-hmm. And now with this current situation, that's expanding to, I think, people giving voice and respect to people of all abilities all around the world. Mm-hmm. And so that's my message. That hasn't changed. This situation we're in is allowing us to maybe pause and think about all of that, and that's making me say, without a doubt, that that mission is so important. We're all in this together, and Special Chronicles and Daniel and I are a part of that. Thank you.
Absolutely, and I just want to say that the Special Chronicles response to COVID-19 is to remind you listeners, to remind ourselves, but to remind all of you listening, to always show compassion, unconditional love, respect, joy, and inclusion to people of all abilities, people with and without disabilities. Always choose to include inclusive health. We want to be your guide to healthy and fitness tips for better inclusive health. We want to be your guide to positive news stories. We want to be your guide to lift your spirits in these unprecedented times. We want everyone to show compassion in the time of social distancing and every day in the future beyond this time too.
Very well said, Daniel. And again, I think from Special Chronicles, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following us. Thank you for subscribing to our newsletter, specialchronicles.com/newsletter. And we'll be back hopefully weekly. If we do take a week off, well, then you understand. But our goal is to continue to bring you free weekly programming on demand. We've got some exciting new live audience shows hopefully coming to you. We've got some new podcasts, new programs joining our network of joining our platform. So those will be coming to you this summer. And until next week, remember to show compassion, stay safe, stay healthy, and choose to include. We'll see you next time. Until next week, remember, choose to include.
Good job,
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
Why don't you go take your walk? I'm going to heat up. We all?
Well, let me just double check that it coded. Hold on. Where was the... Okay, yeah, that was an hour and 1 minute. So those watching live stream, thank you for watching. We will be back later. Do you want to say bye to our viewers? Well, they can't. They can't see your head now. Do you want to bend down and say bye to our viewers? Ah, whoa. Okay, I should probably stop this before we trip over all of our equipment here.
This episode
Until
is
next
brought
week,
to you by
remember,
listeners like you.
choose to include.
Please support this podcast at
Special
specialchronicles.com.
Giving respect
That's special